Okay guys, I'm back again, and today we're going to be taking a look at my recent pickups from two separate events. Um, yeah, as you guys can see, I have quite a bit of stuff to go through. This pile right here is all the stuff that I just picked up from CCAG a couple of days ago. For those of you who don't know, CCAG is the Cleveland Classic Console and Arcade Gaming Show. It's a convention held in the Cleveland suburbs every year. I live in the southeast Michigan area, so it's a relatively close drive for me. And it's a really awesome convention. If you guys live in this area, definitely go check it out. It's definitely worth your time. And yeah, I have quite a bit of stuff to show off from that. And over here, I have stuff that I just found at a local pawn shop. And this is just an amazing score. I really am excited to show off all this to you guys. But, yeah, I suppose I'll start with this, just because I think this will take the least amount of time. Here we have a mixture of Atari 7800, ColecoVision, and Atari 2600 games that I just found at a pawn shop that's near my house. I had a day off of work a couple days ago, and I decided to go on a thrift store slash pawn shop run, and I just wanted to check out some new places near my house. And I just found this pawn shop, and I was just kind of looking around. I really didn't see much. And then I noticed that there's a shoebox behind the desk, and I noticed that there's a bunch of Atari games back there, which of course really caught my attention because there are no other games or anything like that in the store besides that. So I asked the guy if I could take a look in it, and he said sure, showed me the shoebox, and he let me rummage through it. And I just asked him how much the games were, and he said he'll sell them to me for $1 a piece because he really didn't go through them yet and individually price them. So I definitely went crazy and bought a really nice selection of stuff here, guys. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what I got. Let's start with the Atari 7800. Now, the 7800 I really don't have a whole lot of games for, so this is really cool to find some ones that I've been looking for. Like a really common game here is Ms. Pac-Man. I didn't have it, surprisingly, so now I finally got a copy of it. We have Centipede, we have Asteroids, and we have Dig Dug. All of these are arcade ports, which, 90% of the Atari 7800 is all arcade ports anyway, but really cool to get some games that I wasn't able to find anywhere else, so that was really cool to add some more to my 7800 collection, and it's growing fast now, so that's really cool. As for the ColecoVision games, these are a lot more unique, and these are ones that you definitely don't see every day. We have ones that are not made by Coleco themselves, which is pretty cool. Like this one right here is made by Parker Brothers. Here we have Qbert for the ColecoVision. We have a ColecoVision game made by Atari. This is the port of Centipede, which is actually really good. And we have my two Coleco-made games. We have Cosmic Avenger and Blackjack Poker. Doesn't really sound exciting, but whatever. And by Magic, we have Moonsweeper, which is really cool. I didn't even know that came out for the ColecoVision. I didn't even know that Magic made ColecoVision games either, so that was a really cool find. And here we get to some Atari 2600 games that I didn't have. And some of these are pretty valuable and pretty hard to find. Alright, so here we have Taz. We have two different versions of Superman, one's with the picture label, and we got one with the text. Here we have 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. Surprisingly, I didn't have that one. We have a version of Space Invaders. Now, this one's got the silver label on it with the red text. This is actually the last variant of Space Invaders that I needed. Now I have every variant of Space Invaders ever released for the 2600, which is really cool. We have Firefly, which is regarded as a horrible game. We have Crossbow, which I believe was also released for the 7800. We have another copy of Indy 500. I already have this game, but this one is the text version. I believe it's the picture label version that I have, but I'm not sure. I just know it's a variant that I didn't have. Alright, here we have Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes. Whatever. We have Blackjack. We have Mario Brothers, which is kind of beat up. There's a marker on it, and the label's kind of peeling off, but it's really cool to see that because I didn't have that one. We have Double Dunk, which is a basketball game. And the 2600 game that I'm the most proud of is this one. We have Hero. I'm so happy to have this because this game goes for a lot of money, and it's really popular because it is such a great game. Really happy I was able to find this for only $1 along with all of these other ones. So that was a great score. That was one of my proudest pawn shop slash thrift store achievements, was finding all these for $1 a piece. So that was really cool. And then a couple days later, I had CCAG, and let's go ahead and take a look at all the stuff that I got at CCAG this year. Unfortunately, I didn't record any footage at the convention itself like I did last year. I mean, I was just too busy, shopping around and, talking to some people and, obviously picking up all this. So, sorry I don't have any footage from the convention this year, but, what can you do? I still have a lot of really cool stuff to show off to all of you. Alright, so here we have the Coleco Telstar Ranger. This is a Pong clone made by Coleco in 1977, and this comes with the very scary looking revolver light gun, and it's also got some Pong games built into it. This is complete in the box. I'm not going to bother opening it right now. I mean, I'll make a video showing this off later, but it's got everything in it. It's got the manual, it's got the gun, it's got both controllers, and it does work. I just tested it out recently, and it's working great, so that's really cool. Even the light gun works itself, so that was really sweet. And underneath that, okay, a really cool story about this. When I first walked into the convention, I noticed that there was a seller selling this box right here, the Nintendo Entertainment System action set. And I asked the guy how much he would sell to me for, and he said $20. And at first I'm like, wow, that's a fantastic price, I'll take it. I mean, I picked it up and I noticed that the box itself was really, really light. And then I noticed that all it had was just the styrofoam and the orange zapper. So I'm like, oh man, I thought it would have the controllers and the console and the game and all that with it. But, whatever. I mean, I always wanted an NES box. But then I realized at home, you know what, I got a spare NES, I got obviously a spare of Mario Duck Hunt, and I got some controllers. Maybe I can piece all this together. The only thing I gotta do now is just find the manuals to complete the set. Well, later on in the convention, I was actually able to find all the other manuals and everything that I needed to complete this set. So now I've got a totally complete, and, it's got everything in it, Nintendo action set. Again, I'll make a video showing this off because I was really happy. I was able to find the box and the zapper with the foam for only $20, and I was able to piece everything together for just a couple of bucks. So I was very proud of that. Alright, now under here we have a box for the Commodore VIC-20. When I first bought this was just an empty box. It had no foam or anything else in it. It was just an empty VIC-20 box. I only got this for like $10 or something. I thought it would be really cool. And, I was able to piece all this together as well because I have all the instructions and everything for this. So I was really happy about that. Moving on over here, we have some Famicom games along with a Famicom to NES adapter. I always wanted one of these things, but I knew that they were really, really expensive, so I kind of held off for a while until I saw a couple of these for sale at the convention. I decided to finally pick one up. So that was really cool, and along with that, I got a bunch of Famicom games. Now, as you guys can see, I put my Famicom games in these hard plastic NES game cases, and by the way, these are fantastic for storing Famicom games, because you can store 2 in 1, and they fit in there perfectly. So I got 6 overall this year. Some of these were released in the United States, and a few were not. Let's go ahead and show you guys what they are. Here we have Mickey Mouse, which was released here in the States as Mickey Mousecapade. It's pretty much the exact same game, but the enemies and the bosses are slightly different than the American version. So even though it's like 85% or so the same game that was released here in the States, there's a few things that are different in it, so that's really sweet. And underneath that is Cosmic Genesis, which was released here in the States as Destination Earthstar, I believe. So that was pretty cool. In the next case here, open this, we have Pac-Land, which was an arcade game that we actually never got the NES version here in North America, so I really wanted to get this. It's actually really fun, but the controls do take a lot to get used to. I'll make a video about that as well. And underneath here we have Famicom Family Baseball, which is RBI Baseball. So no surprise there. And the last one here, go ahead and open this. We have a game called Exurion, which is a Space Invaders / Galaga / Galaxian clone. But the thing that makes this game unique is that you can fly your ship up, down, left, right throughout the screen and shoot your enemies that are coming down at you. It's a really, really cool game. I'll make a video about this as well. It's really fun to play. I don't know why it wasn't released here in the States, but it's actually a fantastic game. And I do not know the title of this, but it's a Japanese text adventure. I just bought it because the cover just made me laugh, and it was only a couple bucks. So that is the Famicom games that I picked up this year. Now we get into the NES games that I'm adding to the collection. A couple of these are a little uncommon, a few are not. We have Monopoly. We have Mickey's Adventure in Numberland, which is pretty tough to find. Another pretty tough to find game is Mario is Missing. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Magic Darts, which is a pretty hard game to find as well. The Hunt for Red October. And Double Dare. So that's it for the NES games. I didn't pick up nearly as many as I did last year, but you know, I'm getting pretty close to completing my collection, so I'm not gonna, you know, go out and spend a whole lot of money right now. I'm just looking to find the cheaper ones that I didn't have yet in my collection. And the two Atari games that I picked up at CCAG this year, one is for $2,600. We have Hangman. Surprisingly, I didn't have that. And then Robotron 2084 for the $7,800, which is really sweet as well. Now moving on over here, we have another Pong system. This is the APF TV Fun. I got this for only $10, and I thought that it was too good to be true when I picked it up. Turns out it is, because I just recently tried it out, and I cannot get it to work. So that kind of sucks. I'm going to try to tinker around with it and see if I can get it to work again, but as of right now, this thing does not work. It definitely looks cool, though. Definitely makes a really unique display piece as well. So for $10, I couldn't go wrong with that. And last but not least, we have Sega Master System stuff. I really wanted to try hard to find some Sega Master System games when I went this year because I didn't have a whole lot to really choose from, you know, already. And plus, game stores around me don't really stock Master System very much, so I wanted to take advantage of it while I was there. Alright, so here we have my only Sega card game. This is F-16 Fighting Falcon. I know this game is actually not that good, but I just wanted it because it's one of the card games. It's the only reason why I bought it. Here we have Alex Kidd in Miracle World. I was really, really happy when I found this game. I'm really excited to finally own this game and play it. It's just as great as everyone says it is, even though it is very difficult. Another very difficult game is The Ninja, also very fun. And then we have Outrun, which I think Rad Racer is so much better. This game is just really choppy and clumsy. I'm not a very big fan of it. And here we have Great Baseball, which I picked up for $1. You know, I couldn't go wrong with it. And believe it or not, it's actually complete in the box. So for a complete Sega Master System game, even for a sports game, for $1, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So, of course, I picked that up. And then we have a Sega Master System controller, which I really needed a second one, so I picked that up for $5. So that is it. I know I had a lot to get through. This is probably one of my biggest recent pickups videos that I ever made. And I'm really glad that you guys were able to stick through it and watch the whole thing. I hope you guys really enjoyed. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this video while I catch my breath, because I had to talk a lot and, you know, show off all this stuff to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, have a great day.